Good afternoon, welcome to the Saturday Game Live, coming to you from Rodney Parade here in South Wales, Newport, South Wales to be exact, as Michael Flynn's Newport County take on Pep Guardiola's all-conquering Manchester City, a team that are going for the quadruple. But no, a year ago in this very competition they went to Wigan, who were then battling to get out of League One, and they were beaten. So it could end up being a repeat today, although if it does happen, it will be one of the biggest shocks in FA Cup history, but we could have a potential of an upset here. Just to remind you of the places in the pyramid, Newport, you might not be aware of, are 15th in League 2, so to any casual listeners listening in, they are 15th in the 4th tier of English football, against a team that are top of the Premier League and are defending Premier League champions. They're actually joint top with Liverpool, but are top on virtue of the fact that they've scored. I've got a better goal difference than Jurgen Klopp's men. They had a resounding 6-0 victory, you may remember, last weekend against Chelsea. And they also have made 7 changes as well. They've got a big European match on Wednesday as well in the Champions League, but very much in mind. Now, in a moment or two, we'll have the full classifiers. Well, let me just bring you the 2-11, both teams. Newport line up with Ryan Dean their goals. He was the man who had to rush off at the end of the replay against Middlesbrough to go and see his wife who'd given birth to the twins, and I have to report they're very healthy. So it's Day in goal, then it's Paul, Demetrio, O'Brien and Will Mott who score one of the goals against Middlesbrough in that 2-0 win. A terrific long range shot. And then it's Bennett, Labardi, Bakinson and Butler, with Matt and Patrick Hammond, who has scored in every single round of this year's FA Cup competition. He leads the line. On the bench for the Exiles, as they like to call themselves, we've got Pipe, Franks, number 2 is Pipe, 5 is Franks, 8 Dolan, 10 is Marsh Brown, 16 is Sheehan, 27 is McKeady and 30 is Townsend. That's the Newport lineup. For Manchester City, quite a strong lineup despite Pep Guardiola making 7 changes. Incidentally, on Newport, it's the same 11 incidentally that lined up in that dramatic victory over Middlesbrough in the replay. Manchester City, as I said, have made 7 changes, but it is a strong side, so they are paying Newport County the highest compliment, if you like. So let's look at their lineup very quickly. With Edison in goal, then it's Danilo, Stones, Otamendi and Zinchenko across the back, Phil Foden, Fernandinho and David Silva in midfield, and then up front you've got Riyad Mahrez, Gabriel Jesus and Leroy Sané. On the bench for City, we've got Kyle Walker, Raheem Sterling, Ilkay Gundogan, Bernard Laporte, Kevin De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva and Muric, the substitute goalkeeper. The referee is a Premier League referee, incidentally, one of the top ones. We got it. He comes from Birmingham, and it's Andre Mariner. And just before we go to the classified check, the match odds for a 2-horse race. This is actually for a 2-horse race for going in this game tonight. You can get odds. These are match odds. These are to win, not overall scores. 20-1 you can be quoted by Sky Bet for a Newport victory here tonight. Manchester City are 20-1 on favourites, or 1-20 on favourites, and the draw is a decent price, 12-1, but it will be decided on the day. Anyway, before we get into the action itself, the quarter an hour from kick-off, let's check on all the earlier games from England and Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland with the full classified check. Beginning with the FA Cup 5th round, 2 games. AFC Wimbledon 0, Millwall 1, Brighton and Hove Albion 2, Derby County 1, and as you know, Newport against Manchester City is our match at 5:30. So into the leagues we go. Sky Bet Championship. Aston Villa 0, West Bromwich Albion 2, Bolton 0, Norwich City 4, Ipswich 1, Stoke City 1, Preston 0, Nottingham Forest 0, Rotherham United 2, Sheffield Wednesday 2, and Sheffield United 4, Reading 0. Into Sky Bet League 1, Barnsley 2, Wycombe Wanderers 0, Bradford City 0, Plymouth Argyle 0, Charlton 0, Blackpool 0, Coventry 3, Walsall 0, Fleetwood 1, Luton Town 2, Gillingham 1, Scunthorpe 0, Oxford 0, Peterborough 1, Shrewsbury 1, Burton Albion 1, and Southend United 3, Portsmouth 3. And next we go to Sky Bet League 2. Cambridge 0, Tranmere Rovers 0. Carlisle 2, the MK Dons 3. Exeter 0, Bury 1. Forest Green Rovers 3, Yeovil Town 0. Grimsby 1, Cheltenham 0. Lincoln City 2, Stevenage 2. I think that's still a late result. Macclesfield 1, Colchester United 1. Northampton 0, Crawley 0. Notts County 1, Mansfield 0. Oldham Athletic 1, Crewe Alexandra 1. And Port Vale 0, Morecambe 1. And now we're moving to the Panorama National League. Bournemouth 0, Hartlepool 4. Bromley 2, Maidstone United 0. Dagenham and Redbridge 0, Gateshead 2. Eastleigh 2, Braintree Town 1. AFC Fylde 0, Chesterfield 1. Halifax 0, Aldershot 0. Harrogate Town 1, Ebbsfleet 2. Havant Waterlooville 2, Wrexham 3. Leyton Orient 0, Maidenhead 1. Salford City 1, Dover Athletic 3. Solihull Moors 2, Barnet 2. And Sutton United 0, Barrow 1. And into Scotland now with the Ladbrokes Premiership. Aberdeen 2, St Mirren 2. Hibernian 2, Hamilton Academicals 0. Livingston 1, Dundee 2. And Rangers 0, St Johnstone 0. Ladbrokes Championship rather. Alloa Athletic 0, Partick Thistle 2. Dunfermline 1, Inverness Caledonian Thistle 0. Morton 0, Ayr United 0. And Queen of the South 0, Dundee United 1. Ladbrokes League 1 now. Airdrie 0, Brecon City 1. Montrose 2, Forfar Athletic 0. Raith Rovers 0, Arbroath 1. And Stranraer 0, Dumbarton 3. Into Ladbrokes League 2. Clyde 1, Albion Rovers 0. Cowden Beef 2, Annan Athletic 4. Elgin City 3, Stirling Albion 2. And Peterhead 2, Queen's Park 1. And then we're going to the JD Welsh Premier League 3 games. Cardiff NU 3, Llandudno 0. Newtown 3, Carnarvon 2. And the New Saints 2, Barry Town 2. And the late result, it's finished 2-2 between Lincoln and Stevenage, and Barnsley 2, Wycombe Wanderers 0. That is also, I think that's also finished. But I think, I think that's still going on at the moment. But a win almost on, certainly on the cards for Barnsley. And the Sky Bet Championship stands at this moment. Norwich are 2 points ahead of Sheffield United, Leeds in third. Ipswich Town 9 points from safety. Rotherham have now dropped into the bottom three after their 2-2 draw with local rival Sheffield Wednesday. Luton Town under Mick Harford, who's 60 years old, leading the charge. Barnsley in second place by 2 points from Portsmouth. Sunderland drew last night with Accrington, so they drop to fourth. Charlton and Doncaster occupy the other two playoff spots. At the wrong end of the table, Accrington are actually falling towards trouble here. They were ripping it up, but they're now 3 points away from 4 points away from that dreaded bottom four. Lincoln although are ripping it up in League 1, but they're only 2 points ahead of Bury, who are now further 2 points ahead of Mansfield Town. Paul Scholes is Oldham are in 10th, but not far off a playoff spot. Morecambe move away to ease 3 points away to ease their relegation worries. They won today 1-0. Notts County are back in it, and so too Macclesfield. And Solihull Moors are now the new leaders of the Premier Panorama National League. Tim Flowers' team top from Wrexham. As for Aldershot, Avon and Waterlooville, Maidstone and Braintree, they're all in trouble. Dover and Barnet not far away from danger either. Celtic are now 6 points still clear, having played the game less than Rangers, who could only manage a goalless draw today at Ibrox. Hamilton have now dropped into that second from bottom position, and problems afoot there for Hamilton Academicals. So in the FA Cup, as we approach 10 minutes to kick off here, earlier today Brighton won 2-1 against Frank Lampard's Derby. Last night Watford went through against QPR by 1-0. Etienne Capoue scoring in the stoppage time last night. And today Millwall ended AFC Wimbledon's dreams of another cup upset when they sneaked a 1-0 win, and the goal came from Murray Wallace again. He got the winner, you may remember, in our match that we covered last week against Everton, and that was an important one for them too. But it's all about Rodney Parade, named Dave Parade after Trigger calls Rodney Dave in Only Fools and Horses. But what an atmosphere. Newport, who of course entertained Spurs here a year ago and almost won. Well, this is not beyond the bounds of possibility here of a cup shock happening here. But Manchester City, Pep Guardiola will know what happened a year ago when they went to Wigan and everyone said they were going to walk that game. Won't be tied, Manchester City, if they're going to think the same ideas here tonight. The pitch is not exactly in ideal condition. There has been 60 games in all different sports played on it in the last so far this season. They don't just use this pitch we're here at Rodney Parade for football. They use it for rugby as well. So, and there's 3 different teams in this area that use it. The 2 rugby clubs and obviously Newport County. Michael Jones, the manager, will have the team fired up for that. There's no doubt about that. And he is a man who will enjoy the atmosphere of a cup tie. 4 clean sheets in 5 for Joe Day, the goalkeeper for Newport County. And what an atmosphere it will be here at this fantastic Rodney Parade ground. Of course, Middlesbrough will answer the slaughter. Jamil Mata scored 15 goals in all competitions this season. I'm trying to give you all the info I can on this, and of course you've got your chance to comment here on Facebook, here on YouTube this evening, because we are live on YouTube, and I'll try and get a few of your comments made as well. But so obviously hashtag, and we've got a new hashtag for you now for the FA Cup games from now to the end. And Patrick Hammond, former Accrington player, has scored in every single round from round 1 to 4 so far this season. A bit of Newport County, they're 15th in the League 2. Their FA Cup best was back in 1949 when they reached the 5th round. They got to the 4th last season when they were beaten in a replay at Spurs, and their current form is 1 defeat in the last 7 at Rodney Parade. And that's a little bit more information on Newport County tonight. A short time ago, the Manchester City coach arrived at Rodney Parade and they had to walk across the pitch to the dressing rooms at this famous old ground. Pep Guardiola, very casually dressed, the Manchester City players, and we have been told that there will not be heated seats for them. And there's the 2 managers shaking hands with each other, and Michael Flynn and Pep Guardiola. In fact, they're very good buddies. They were on an UEFA coaching course together, and they know each other quite well, and he's a really nice chap. And also Mikel Arteta giving message as well, out shaking hands. So a little bit about Manchester City. Fernandinho, he's made 32 appearances in all competitions this season. A very good versatile player. Also can lead from the front, and I think he's also the captain today. Also, you've got Gabriel Jesus. He's got 16 goals in all competitions this season. So he is a very accomplished striker. No Sergio Aguero in the 18. He's being rested with the Champions League game very much in their force. And a bit more about Manchester City. As you know, they're first currently in the Premier League. They've won the Cup 5 times. And the last time they reached, last season, they finished going out in the 5th round. And their current form is actually quite good at the moment. 1 defeat in 12. And that means 3 consecutive wins. In their last game, of course, they absolutely hit Chelsea for 6, you may recall. So the teams are in the tunnel. Magnificent occasion here for the Saturday game. Coming to you live from Rodney Parade in Newport. This really is a real David versus Goliath. The lowest ranked team left in the FA Cup against the highest ranked team left in the FA Cup. Forget Chelsea and Manchester United on Monday night. This, without doubt in my mind, is the true flavour of the FA Cup. We saw, when we covered the FA Cup last time, we saw Everton and Spurs fall by the wayside. 14 Premier League teams have gone by the wayside. Can Newport send City the same way and make it Premier League casualty 15, or will the cream of the crop at the top of the Premier League undoubtedly rise to the surface? It's a strong City lineup, as we all know, and we'll give you the full lineups in just a second or two. They are waiting patiently for the officials, I believe. And Ryan Day, the goalkeeper, was a father after that. What a story that was, when he had to rush off after the final whistle after the replay against Middlesbrough to be at his wife's side for the birth of the two young twins. And my God, he was pleased as punch. He welled up, I believe. But this is what we love about the FA Cup. It's a proper cup tie, this. It's not a pitch that Manchester City will be used to. Muddy in places, hardly any grass because of the pitch being used for the rugby and everything else. So this really has the touch of an old-fashioned classic FA Cup tie about it. Everybody's ready, and it's a sellout crowd. It's been sold out ever since the draw was made some 3 weeks ago. And the added extra tonight, folks, is that it will be played to a finish. From this round on, no replays. It has to be decided today, either through 90 minutes, extra time, or penalties. The Amber Army, and they're all wanting selfies and videos of the teams as they come out to the tunnel away to my left-hand side behind that left-hand goal. And absolute brilliant. And temporary stands have been built here at Rodney Parade to cater for the Manchester City fans. Have of course made a long journey down there. Tinfoil cups, and Newport's first appearance in this round for 70 years, when they played Portsmouth and came out the wrong side of a 3-2 scoreline. That last meeting, in fact, was 1962 in the League Cup, when City won 2-1. But will it be different? It's the first meeting in the FA Cup between these two sides, and what an atmosphere it's going to be. Newport in the yellow shirts, or in the old gold shirts I should say, well, amber they call them. I said old gold, but that's referring to Wolves. They traditionally use the old gold, and temporary stands have been built so that more Newport fans could get in and get tickets to this game. And it's just marvellous to see the mascots, the Newport mascots. It's a night they'll never forget for the rest of their lives. Right, team news then for Newport. Ryan Day in goal, then it's Paul O'Brien, the captain, Demetrio and Butler across the back, then it's Wilmot on the right, Bennett and Bakinson in the midfield, Lepardi on the left, and Jamal Matt and Patrick Amond up front. Amond, remember, has scored in every round of the FA Cup this season. Jamal Matt has got 15 on to his credit. On the bench, Pipes, Frank, Stolen, Marsh Brown, Sheehan, McKeady and Townsend, who's the goalkeeper. And they're going to play 4-4-2 today, Newport, and that is what we're hearing. A fantastic atmosphere for an FA Cup tie that really has the hallmarks of a real David versus Goliath edge about it. And I honestly think this could really be a classic here at Rodney Parade this evening. And I hope you can enjoy it with us here on the JB Claret YouTube channel. As for Manchester City, they line up as follows as well. We'll give you their team in just a moment or two, as Rodney Parade is absolutely buzzing with anticipation for this fifth round tie. Newport have got a really good history. We'll bring you that City team now with Ederson in goal, and it's a back four of Danilo, Stones, Otamendi and Zinchenko. Zinchenko will play on the left and Danilo on the right hand side of midfield. And in the centre of midfield we got Phil Foden, Fernandinho and David Silva, and up front Riyad Mahrez, Gabriel Jesus and Leroy Sané will play up front. So a real massive opportunity here now for both Newport and Manchester City. The pitch, as I can see now, is very heavily sanded, very muddy in places. And this should make for a great leveler here under the floodlights here at Rodney Parade. They also play rugby and all that sort of game on it. Of course, being in Wales, it's a rugby loving sort of venue. They love their rugby in Wales. And what a fifth round tie we've got in prospect here, as day turns to night here in South Wales. A Saturday night feast of football for you on the Saturday game, coming to you live from Rodney Parade. One potential moment player in today's match we haven't mentioned yet. That's the referee, Andre Mariner, coming from Birmingham this evening, and he's travelled down the M5 and the M4 to be here on this fantastic occasion, certainly for Newport County, that is for sure. Now we're going to pay a tribute to Gordon Banks, who sadly died earlier this week. And what a tribute that was. And all grounds across the country will be having a minute's respect for Gordon Banks. A great goalkeeper, a great servant to English football, and of course a World Cup winner back in 1966. And as you heard in the background, England's #1, and he was undoubtedly one of England's greatest ever goalkeepers. Certainly in the same bracket, he actually won FIFA's Goalkeeper of the Year 6 years running from 1966 onwards. And he won a couple of League Cup medals as well with Stoke, as well as his World Cup medal before his career was cut short in 1972. But Gordon Banks dying earlier this week at the age of 81 I think. So it's Newport in the amber shirts to get us underway here at Rodney Parade. And we're underway then. FA Cup 5th round, a tie that Gordon Banks would certainly approve of. He had played in a couple of cup finals as well, came out and lost on both on the occasions that he did play, 61 and 63 when he lost to Spurs and Manchester United. But I'm sure, being a football fan that he would be, he'll be enjoying this one here, and so he'd love this sort of game to be happening in South Wales tonight. City in the old dark strip with the fluorescent yellow socks, and this is John Stones to bring it away for Manchester City. Massive favourites, massive 1-20 on to win tonight. Newport odds of 20-1 in a 2-horse race. Doesn't really bear thinking about, does it? But you never know in one-off occasions like this. Newport, with the crowd on their side, the pitch, they'll be used to it more than City. Well, they're not used to playing on Mudbash City, and the pitch is very, very bobbly as well, which will make it difficult for City to play their normal brand of ticky-tacky football, that a sort of brand of football that Pep Guardiola really does rely upon. And Ederson having to hoist one away there into the stands, and it will be difficult for people like Ederson and the defenders to play out on the back, because you can be rest assured from the first minute that Michael Flynn will have his team trying to close City down from the front at every conceivable opportunity. There he is in the V-neck sweater, and a chance here for Demetriou. He has the towels with him to wipe the ball, so he gets good trajectory on the throw-ins on the near side. 1 minute 40 gone here at Rodney Parade, midway inside the City half this throw is, and it'll be hoisted into that area. Demetriou now, he's gone a little bit shorter this time. Back again towards the edge of the area. Demetriou gets a second opportunity now to cross in with his left foot into the penalty area. Ederson going for that one, but he takes the ball competently there. Does the Manchester City goalkeeper. Decent little cross out by Demetriou from the right hand side. But the goalkeeper was bang up for that and was going to take that competently. No trouble at all. Good safe pair of hands there by the goalkeeper as City come forward with Zinchenko. Just knocks it round the corner now. Nicolas Otamendi. City will not relish this trip down to South Wales, there's no doubt about that. Partisan crowd here. I make it about 9,000 to 10,000 here at Rodney Parade. Newport, who had lost their league status a few years ago, had to be reformed and have fought their way back into the Football League. They are a terrifically run club, and they've earned something like £1 million from their last two campaigns in the FA Cup as Sane plays the ball in. It's the third time in 4 games that their matches have been selected for television as well. But here's Mahrez, whose former team Leicester City came a cropper in the 3rd round. Gets possession. Now City have the ball with Danilo. Danilo out to the far side, and Foden will play the ball in. Silva's waiting in the centre. Foden trying to get the crossing. It was half charged down. Fernandinho will take possession, and he chips that in, and what a good run that is from the near side, and it's come off a defender, I think, and it's a corner. And well, Demetrio and O'Brien will have to be on top guard, on top form here tonight. Referee Andre Marin is in pink. This is not one of the games, obviously, that will have VAR in it, VAR. But I'm certain. But there was some VAR stuff at Brighton earlier today. I'm certain there'll be VAR on the big one, on the massive one, another massive game on Monday. A little match between Chelsea and City's neighbours United as the corner came in and the ball fell quite kindly for Bakinson, who just hooks it as far up the field as he can. There was no Newport player further forward than him as he hit the ball forward, and it just gave Newport sufficient time just to charge out of defence and let Zinchenko have as much time as he can on the ball. But you can assure Mike Flynn, their manager, will have had them well drilled. They know exactly how they play this pitch. 15th in League 2, but they are in decent form in all competitions here at Rodney Parade, and I think 15th doesn't do them justice really in that league, considering you look at the way they've performed in the FA Cup the last 2 years. They had Spurs on the rack, they knocked out Leicester City in a never to be forgotten 3rd round tie, a game I wish I'd have covered now. We went to cover the Woking game instead, but I think we've probably got a decent reward. We had a decent reward in the last round where we saw Millwall knock out Everton, and we saw Spurs come a cropper at Crystal Palace. There may have been one or two shouts there for a penalty there. Johnson's certainly had his shirt pulled there by one of the Newport lads as Fernandinho skips away from a challenge. This really is going to be the toughest of tough tests for City now, but if Newport can just stay in the game for as long as they can. But remember, this is a City side, remember, that scored 9 goals in a semi-final in the League Cup against Burton, so they take themselves up very seriously, although they only won the second leg by a goal to nil at the Pirelli. So there is hope for Newport. City admittedly won that match at the Etihad, where admittedly they actually have a better, well, they have better facilities, and they used to play on that sort of grass, if you see what I mean. And we've just lost sound. We just lost a few pictures at the moment, but we will try and keep up to date with what's going on at the moment. Still 0-0 as we come past the 6-minute mark of the game, but we will endeavour to keep the commentary going. But I can tell you what, a cup tie. We're in for a classic here tonight. There's no doubt about it. And of course, it will be settled here on the day, or on the evening in this case, for 90 minutes extra time, or possibly even a penalty competition, as Wilmot goes forward. Siani sticks close to him like super glue, and Siani can bring it away now for Manchester City. And Otamendi now plays it down the line. It's a tough old examination of Manchester City's obvious credentials. 7 going here, and Newport doing okay. Newport 0, Manchester City 0 in the 5th round of the FA Cup, and Mahrez was starting through, but what a tackle that was, and full credit there, and really good defending there by one of the Newport lads. I can't tell who it was. Newport, a very unfamiliar team to me, because we always commentate on the big Premier League games. It might have been as the... Oh, he's passed his man here. Ball into the area, across the face of the goal. And City were almost close. It was Mahrez again, with the ball across the goal. And I think they might have got a hand on it. In fact, I think on the initial one it was Butler who got back to deny Mahrez the first time. And then his cross came in from the near side, and it went flashing across the 6-yard box, and I think Day got a foot on that. It was going in. So goalkeeper Day made a fantastic save there to deny Manchester City there from the first moment as Sane takes the corner into the penalty area, headed away. And the danger is over for the time being. Mike's on. I do apologise. I'm going to have to watch this on Facebook. So any chats we'll be watching on Facebook, because we're not receiving anything on the PlayStation 4 where we're streaming it from. But it's City in the dark shirts, and it's Fernandinho to touch the ball back. I mean, you could have got odds of 20 to 1 on a Newport win here tonight, and if they do win, if you put 20 to 1 on, you're going to have some decent money to come back. That is for sure. As the ball is chipped forward towards Leroy Sane on the near side. Sane back in field, and a ball round the corner from David Silva. Sane to the byline here. City attacking the goal to our left, incidentally, in the first half. So where their supporters are congregated behind. About 700-800, about 1,000 of them have travelled down from Manchester. Ball is flipped in from the right hand side, looking towards Sane. They'll have a second chance here, and it's Fernandinho now in the centre of the park, halfway inside the Newport half. And the ball threaded out towards Foden, and now it's Nicholas Otamendi to pick it up 10 yards inside the Newport half on the left hand side. Now Shinchenko on the left, looking to go past two Newport defenders, but he retreats back to Otamendi. Otamendi now just casually just turns the ball round. Still 0-0 here as we go past the 9.5 minute mark here at Rodney Parade. Already through into the hat for the quarterfinals are Watford, Brighton and Millwall. Millwall winning 1-0 this afternoon against plucky AFC Wimbledon. Murray Wallace with the winning goal on 5 minutes earlier this afternoon. Brighton going through 2-1 against Frank Lampard's Derby County, and last night QPR were beaten by an Etienne Capoue goal for Watford. Here's Fernandinho now, 30 yards from goal, strikes it 30 yards out, just wide of the left hand post, and behind for a goal kick there to Newport. And Pep Guardiola's already got his rainproof jacket on. Fernandinho now just winning the ball there against number 15 Bakinson, and then just getting shot off. I think Ryan Day might have had the shot covered, but this is the save again from Mahrez from Ryan Day. Just gets a foot on that, a leg on that, and that was going in the back of the net from what I saw there. But at the moment it's 0-0, and it is really tough stuff out there here as we go past the 10 minute mark here at Rodney Parade. A real blood and thunder FA Cup tie, and it would be great for the tie if Wilmot or one or two of the Newport lads could score here. And it's Wilmot now looking to get number 26 Paul involved, and he wins a corner there for Newport. Bretta from the League 2 side, the lowest ranked team left in this season's FA Cup competition. A goal for Newport here and the roof would lift off. And if Newport were to win here, which according to the bookmakers will seem very highly unlikely, my goodness me, it would be the biggest upset in Cup history. It would be up there with the Herefords and Lincolns of this world. Not I as a Burnley fan will want to remember the latter. Here's the corner now. Played in by Butler towards the near post, and it comes away, and it's smashed forward again. But now City have a chance to break. But look at Newport closing down, swarming them like flies, and the ball forward now, and he almost found Jamil Matt. It was a lovely baited ball, and he just couldn't find Jamil Matt. But that was better, and that was much more braver there from Newport County. Bakinson's ball just didn't have enough. Just had too much power on it, I suppose, and it went out for a goal kick. But the Newport fans now will be a little bit more, shall we say, a little bit more happy about that. 84% possession City to 16% Newport, and that's how to play. I think Zinchenko was offside in any case. 12 minutes gone, 0-0, but only 16% for Newport, 84% Man City. Well, that tells you the golf, doesn't it? But the important thing is, it's not about the possession you have, it's what you do with that possession. And Newport at the moment are keeping City at bay. And it's Day with the free kick now, just to the left of the penalty area to take to the right of the penalty area. To take for Newport, his own penalty area, and he kicks along into the far right hand corner. It comes off the corner flag, and bounces for Zinchenko rather kindly and tries to play a 1-2 with one of the City players, and it might have been David Silva, but it came off the corner flag. And cue Dimitriou now to hoist a long throw in into the mixer once again. I hope you're enjoying this commentary at home here on the JB Claret YouTube channel. FA Cup 5th round, first commentary of the weekend. Dimitriou with the throw into the penalty area. Ball back punt, and it's almost a goal for Newport at the back post. And a remarkable save by Edison diving away to his right. Palmed it away, and City somehow survived. I don't know, there was a couple of flicks in there. It certainly came off a Newport player at the left-hand far post, and Newport were in an ace of going in front. We'll check who had the chance in a second or two when there's a replay coming up on the monitor. But here's David Silva for Manchester City into Foden, back to Silva again. City close to going behind in the FA Cup. And, well, that was a great moment. That might have been there for Newport. Here's Leroy Sané on the left-hand side. 5 or 10 yards from the byline. Foden crosses and plucked out of the air brilliantly by goalkeeper Ryan Day. Let's see if we can pick out on the replay who had the chance for Newport a moment or two ago. But what an opportunity that was for Newport County. Great play. And really the chance came. It really came to them. It was a long throw, and it caused Manchester City no end of problems. And the flick on at the far post nearly led to Newport taking the lead here at Rodney Parade. My word, that would have, the roof would have left it off tenfold if that had gone in. It's just absolutely remarkable how Newport have gone about their business here tonight, and almost upsetting the odds once again. The FA Cup showing why it is the best competition in the world. I'm not sure what actually happened there, but I can't tell you. I need to have a look at another replay. We've lost the pictures again at that particular moment, but I can still tell you, you've not missed any of the action, and it's still 0-0 here in the FA Cup 5th round. In association, of course, with the Emirates airline, as I saw just a little glimpse of a replay then for a second or two, but Mike Flynn thought it was there, that's for sure. And in fact, it was Bakinson at the far post. Bakinson, I've just realised, has missed the opportunity there with a quarter of an hour gone now. Bakinson with a big opportunity there for Newport County, but alas, it was not taken, and it remains 0-0 in this FA Cup tie. And what a tie it is proving to be. Here's Wilmot dispossessing Zinchenko deep inside City territory, and Wilmot has it on this near side, and it's kept in there by number 26 Paul, but he's lost it. And here comes Sané now to David Silva. David Silva, the stalwart in that City midfield, and he tries to find Foden just to the right of him, but he loses possession. And then Jamil Matt tries to hold the ball up but loses it. Now Zinchenko just inside the Newport half, left of the centre circle, lifts it out towards the right hand side, the far side as we look. And here's Bakinson to knock it forward, a long ball forward, and it's gone out of play. Well, you think the best opportunity they're going to have is from the long throws, and Bakinson at the far post had the chance to put Newport a lead, give them the lead in the FA Cup. It would have been a remarkable moment for him. But City know that they're in a cup tie now. None of this Burton Albion 9-0 cobblers now. It's Newport on record. They've played in all competitions. They've won 14, drawn 4, and lost 4. And their win percentage is a massive 64%. So they played 22 games at home and lost only 4 and won 14 of them. That is a remarkably good record, I find it hard to understand why they are 15th in League 2 with a home record like that. It must be their away form that's probably their Achilles heel. I think Mike Flynn would say that himself, but they are a club that don't have much money, but they have made something in the region of £2 million on their 2 cup runs. As I said, the last 3 or 4 of their cup games have been shown live on national television, so they are well known as Fernandinho shoots from about 25 yards central, and it goes over the top of the crossbar. and Newport survived. It was about 4 or 5 inches just over the bar, and wasn't troubling Ryan Day one iota. Some great cup ties tomorrow. Bristol City against Wolves, Doncaster against Crystal Palace, just 2 of the standout ties. And then of course on Monday we've got a massive one from Stamford Bridge, Chelsea against Manchester United. And one of those 2 big guns could go here. Potentially City could end up going as well by the wayside. Anyway, Dimitri is going to take the throw-ins. He takes throw-ins from both sides, incidentally. And remember, he's got that long throw-in that can really cause trouble. And it's caused trouble for Messer Stones and Otamendi so far. And he's going to take the throw far side, about 20 yards inside the City half, and he throws it high in towards the penalty area. Flick on into the area. Amon shoots and hits it over the crossbar. The man who scored in every round so far this season's FA Cup wrapped his right foot around it and almost got the goal that would have taken the roof off Rodney Parade. And it wasn't Amon, in fact it was number 4 Labardi. Amon flicked it on, in fact. Even the excitement of the FA Cup gets to the commentator. 0-0 here. Newport really giving as good as they've got against City, but it's Foden to the far side, and it's Danilo. Chance here to get the cross in, and the ball in from Mahrez and turned away. I think Day may have got a hand on that. He did. Riyad Mahrez again causing all sorts of problems on the City right hand side here against Butler. Gets his shot in. Goalkeeper didn't really hold it, but there was enough amber shirts in and around him to help him out there, as he just now plays it up towards Mahrez, or towards Danilo. Danilo's ball is a poor one. It's out for a goal kick to Newport County as we approach the 20-minute mark of the first half. And Mike Flynn will be happy with the way that has gone. City fans know what happened at the DW Stadium last season when they were massive odds-on favourites to knock out Wigan Athletic, none of League One. It came a cropper to a late goal from Will Grigg in the last 15 minutes, and they stumbled out the cup. And not that the season did unravel, because they won 2 trophies out of the 4 they were going for. Match stats, this is interesting. 3 attempts for Newport, 5 for City, and 3 on target, 1 for Newport. That was the chance, of course, for Bakinson, which was saved by the goalkeeper, and 2 for City as well. I think both of them went to Riyad Mahrez. Here's Otamendi now for Manchester City in the darker shirts as he trots forward. He's run 20 yards virtually on track there, and he's found Shinchenko, and they're just playing this ticky-tacky football. I don't know how they're managing to play it on this sort of pitch. Here's Mahrez now trying to get the ball in play on the far side. He failed to do so, and he's out for a goal kick, which will suit Newport County down to the ground by all means here, because it means now they can just regroup a little bit. They're going to have a lot of the play, City, there's no doubt about that. But it's what you do with that possession that counts, and at the moment you've got to give Newport County every conceivable credit, because unless a team could have laid down and let City have a patful by now, but they've only kept them to the 2 shots on target, which is more than a lot of teams actually give them in the Premier, which is a lot less than a lot of Premier League teams have given them this season in the Premier League. So credit to Newport. There looked like a hand there against Gabriel Jesus as he controlled the ball, but the referee decreed it came off the chest as Zinchenko had to retreat, because Patrick Amond is quickly closing him down very quickly, but he got the ball back to Addison as they try to play out from the back. I think this is going to be a problem for City as the game wears on, because I'm sure Newport County will discuss this in their preparation for this game, that City, and it's no secret to a lot of people that they do like to play out from the back, Manchester City. And this really is one of those moments now. If they can take their chances here, Newport, they could cause one of the massive FA Cup upsets of all time. This is Gabriel Jesus though for Manchester City on the left hand side. Infield to Silva. Silva 20 yards from goal. Thought about the shot originally. Now the ball goes in, and the shot just wide from around about the 20-yard mark from Riyad Mahrez, and it goes wide of the target and behind for a goal kick to Newport County. And No doubt he has his head in his hands for a lot of reasons here. Decent effort, just went wide of the target in the end, and it remains goalless here in the fifth round of the FA Cup, of course sponsored by the Emirates airline. Been a marvellous City, just to remind you, this will kill me as a Burnley fan to say this, but the next bit, they've beaten Rotherham, beat them handsomely, and they also knocked out my club Burnley in the last round and beat them quite comfortably in the end 5-0. Although it was a lot hard, although they were helped by some very generous Burnley defending on that particular afternoon. I was very disappointed to see us out the cup on that sort of occasion. And of course Newport County, the last two rounds, I'll just bring you up to date with what happened in the last two rounds for them. They knocked out Leicester City by 2-1, and after a 1-1 draw at the Riverside, knocked out Middlesbrough 2-0 in a replay. Wilmot and Hammond got the goals that particular Tuesday evening, a week last Tuesday, so they know what to expect in this FA Cup. And remember, if it's a draw after 90 minutes, let me remind you, no replays now from the fifth round onwards. It's got to be decided on the day. So far we haven't needed extra time in any of the ties up until now, but that could all change in the tonight and maybe tomorrow or even Monday night. I'm not sure when the draw is for the fifth round, incidentally, to the quarterfinals, but I can safely say with absolute certainty the teams that are certain to go through are in the hat. As Bennett makes a robust challenge on Otamendi, who doesn't like this sort of physicality, but that's the way you've got to do. You've got to match up City in some ways, and the best way to do it is set plays and physicality. And here's Demetrio again, right on the edge of the penalty area on the right hand side, at the level with the City penalty area. Now these last throwing from the right caused all sorts of confusion. O'Brien's forward from the back, Paul's in there too, and they all challenge for it, and the ball just won't break to anyone in Amber. And again Ederson was in a little bit of trouble there. That long throw-in is causing problems. That looked like a clear push by Jesus, but he wasn't given, and City have been allowed to attack here on the counter, and this really could be controversial. Danilo to Mahrez now on the right hand side, looked a clear push by Jesus a few seconds ago, but and now a chance for Danilo to cross it in, lets the ball bounce a couple of times. Foden on the edge, plays it out to Zinchenko now on the left hand side, crosses into the penalty area, comes to Mahrez, right hand side, still Mahrez, now back to Foden on the edge, dispossessed by Bakington. Terrific play that from City, but it did look a foul in the build-up on that last attack there. And here's Mahrez, he goes down, no foul. Maybe that just levels the decisions out a little bit. Even if there are poor decisions, at least the referee, Mr. Marin, has been a little bit more consistent than most referees at this moment in time. Still 0-0, 26.5 minutes gone here in this riveting fifth round FA Cup tie. And here's Sane, it's on the area, Sane, offside given, offside. And to a huge cheer of this partisan crowd here at Newport, and I have to say, he was onside, Sane. Whoa, that is a bad decision, I've got to be honest. Jesus felt his shirt was being pulled initially there as the ball came to Mahrez. I didn't see that because I was watching the flight of the ball, but maybe City have a couple of claims for a penalty. But regardless, it's a Newport free kick, and they're still in this cup tie, 0-0, and they could have been ahead in this game conceivably. If you want to be an argument and make a case for the lower league team. And what a good piece of defending that was by number 25 there. O'Brien stuck his head in where it hurts and stopped Leroy Sané on going further. Concedes a throw to Manchester City. Deep inside that Newport half on the near side, the left hand side as we look. Plays it 1-2 with Sané. Zinchenko back to Sané once again. Had a couple of 1-2s there on that left hand side. Then he goes back to Nicolas Otamendi, who bypasses John Stones and finds Danilo. will look to try and get a ball forward if he can to Foden, which he does. Phil Foden, one of the England under-18s who won the World Cup, you may remember, a year or two back. What a great moment that was in his relatively young career. Really promising England player of the future, Phil Foden, and he's been used quite a little bit in certain games by Pep Guardiola, which is good to see. Here's Silva inside the penalty area. City looking to break the deadlock, and again 2 or 3 Newport defenders got in the way of the path of the shot from David Silva. And they're saying to David Silva, you could try, but you're going to it's going to take a lot more guile and a lot more cunning if you're going to breach our defence. Jesus won the ball back originally, and in fact it might have been O'Brien who got the challenge in and blocked it, and they've won possession this time, and it's Robbie Wilmot who tries to win the ball. Ball just stays in play, and Newport hook it as far up the field as they can, but unfortunately they've hooked it out of play. But Mike Flynn will be happy and delighted at the way the team have gone about their business in this opening almost half an hour of this first half. FA Cup 5th round, the Saturday game, coming to you live from Rodney Parade in South Wales. Newport County 0, Manchester City 0. A real David versus Goliath, the lowest ranked team left in this season's FA Cup competition against the highest ranked team left in this season's FA Cup competition. This is a real proper throwback FA Cup tie. This muddy pitch, small ground, tight ground, and City are not enjoying this trip one iota because Newport are really battling well and really taking the fight to their more illustrious opponents. Remember, their previous meeting was in 1962 when City won by 2-1, and this is the first time. They've never been beyond, I think, the 6th round before, Newport, not since post-war anyway. Here's John Stones rather to get the ball forward. Now Danilo to Maria Mahrez, who's caused 1 or 2 troubles on that City right hand flank. He has probably been City's best player by far. And the ball lifted in by Zinchenko towards David Silva. It was poor, badly overhit, and well out of play and behind for a goal kick to Newport County. Half an hour gone, it's Newport 0, Manchester City 0. Earlier today, wins from Millwall by 1-0, and 2-1 for Brighton against Derby. Really didn't get going until the second half of that match at the Amex. Ashley Cole did score on his return to English football. Monkey 1222 says hi, City should win. LT says yo to you too. Anyone fancy Newport tonight? So far they're giving as good as they've got, and the referee has not been fussy. He's not given 3 kicks for any challenges at all. He's tried to let the game flow as much as he possibly can, as the challenges come in thick and fast here, and the ball should stay in play. Well, it's rolling across the line, but remarkably it's not staying in play. It's still staying in play. 32 minutes almost gone, 0-0, and remember, we'll take our customary 10-minute break at half time to get refreshments and refuel for the what could possibly, if it stays this way at the break, could be a grandstand second half in prospect. Good to have you all with us here this evening as we just see the replay. We're just seeing a replay of what happened there in that little incident as that ball went along the line, the dead ball line on the near side, or the touch line on the near side, and remarkably stayed in play up until the corner flag. It was one of the weirdest things I think I've ever seen on a football field for a little bit of some time. So inside the last quarter of an hour then, and Newport County, to their credit, are holding the league champions, the Premier League champions, the champions of England. They're back in Champions League action, and if they go into that on the back of a humiliating defeat here at Rodney Parade, it will not go down too well with sections of Manchester City fans. Be rest assured with that. But it's been a great advert for cup football at the moment. Proper cup tie fare we are seeing here at Rodney Parade so far. I've really enjoyed this cup tie. It's been remarkable. Just to remind you, Watford, Millwall and Brighton are all in the hat for the 5th round of the FA Cup. replay. And if someone can for the draw for the 5th round, no replays, sorry, don't know where I got replay from. It's just the excitement of the cup, I suppose. But if anyone can let me know when the draw is, I don't know, no one said anything about when the draw takes place for the 5th round, 6 quarterfinals of the FA Cup. So if anyone can enlighten me when the replay is on the comment section, that would be fantastic. Here's as David Silva runs towards the area, now finds Mahrez. Mahrez is crossed, turned away by Day. Still Newport have to get it clear, and it comes to Jamal Matt, who just hooks it up. Well, it comes to Bakinson, who tries to hook it away, but it comes to Leroy Sané. Thought about the shot, now tries to play 1-2, and it's Sané into the penalty area, close in, and he's smashed it over. Leroy Sané with a chance goal, and he's mercy just Day to beat, and he smashed it over, and it's behind for a goal kick. Apologies for the loss of sound there. I do apologise. We lost sound for 5 minutes. It's not easy when your sound's being interrupted. Hopefully that's not spoiling your enjoyment of this throwing FA Cup tie, which stands at the moment at 0-0. At the moment, as we go into the last 3 minutes, I do apologise for the loss of sound. But don't let that put you off at the moment. As I say, the comment section is still open for business as Sane turns. Sane tries to turn, gets his shot off, and again well blocked. And the ball played into the penalty area, hooked away. And out for a throw-in on the near side. Good football again from Manchester City. Sane turning which way and that. And in the end, O'Brien got a block off, and in fact he might have hit his hand, but I think he had his arm up in front of his face, and there was no great appeals from the Manchester City players. I do apologise for the loss of sound. I can't illustrate that enough to you guys. Shots 5-on-5 goal. City go for another one. That's their 10th shot at goal. Newport have had 5, as I said, and 1 on target for Newport, and 2 for City. It's Danilo shoots wide. Just seen O'Brien now with a hand. In fact, he just loops off Wilmot's foot onto the hand of O'Brien and bounced away. So still 0-0. And it's FA Cup tie. A game that's being played here at Rodney Parade, and if Newport can see out in the next 2 minutes plus stoppage time, none, they're in prime position to have a go, really have a go in the second half, Mike Flynn's side. So anything can still happen here in this 5th round of the FA Cup, sponsored by Emirates. Here's Fernandinho. I do apologise for the loss of sound, but we are back with you live. And Foden gets Jesus gets the ball out towards Mahrez, but it's been hooked away. Now Danilo will track back, play it to John Stones. John Stones now with the ball, finds Zinchenko now for Manchester City. Still 0-0. Last minute of normal time, remember, at the end of the first half. 0-0. The best chance is falling for City through Riyad Mahrez. Best chance for has fallen to Bakinson for Newport County. Here's Leroy Sané. Sané round the corner. Zinchenko. Good block there by number 7 Robbie Wilmot, who scored that individual 20-yard thunderbolt after a little piece of after a great piece of footballing skill at the same end as he's defending the Newport goal. Newport will attack that end in the second half. We're now into the last 10 seconds, final 5 seconds as the ball is played in by Zinchenko. It's headed behind by Fernandinho for a goal kick to Newport. We're now playing 1 added minute, and it has actually, in fairness, been a free-flowing cup tie, even though when we were off the air for about 5 minutes or so through that sound problem we were watching. I was watching it intensely, and I have to say Newport are giving it as good as they've got in this first half. And the Newport fans here at Rodney Parade are bang up for this one, there's no doubt about that. It's been a remarkable first 45 minutes, which have got about 25 seconds of stoppage time still to run. And if will we see another dramatic moment in this first half, or will it just peter out to half time? Newport will be hoping it will be the latter, unless they can get the ball forward up themselves. But at the moment it's as things stand, it's 0-0 as we now go into the last 5 seconds of stoppage time. And hopefully now we can take a little bit of a break. And Panini says fair play to Newport as the whistle goes, and what a moment for that. That's a great fillip and a great feather in Mike Flynn and his size cap. They could have arguably been in front at half time. Bakinson with a chance at the far post, which was saved superbly there by Edison. City have also threatened a couple of times but haven't been able to lay siege enough to the goal. They've had a few off target, they've had only 2 on target, and that was both from Riyad Mahrez. But at the moment the league champions well and truly not having it their own way here at the moment, and that's great news if you're a fan of Newport of League 2. Half time then, as we take a 10-minute break, take our usual 10-minute break, Newport 0, Manchester City 0 is the half-time score. See you in 10 minutes time. Hello everybody and welcome back to Rodney Parade here in Newport in South Wales. It's currently in the FA Cup, sponsored by Emirates, 0-0 between Newport County of League 2, 15th at the moment in League 2, against Manchester City, who are now top of the Premier League at the moment, and City have not been City slickers at all in this first half so far. Newport County, I think, have just come out onto the field for the second half, so City keeping Newport waiting, but I'm sure Mike Flynn will have them bang up for the second half. At the moment as things stand, it's 0-0, and if it was to end a draw incidentally after 90 minutes, in case you've joined us late, the best chance spell for Bakinson for Newport, when he, in his effort from about a yard out, was miraculously saved by Edison. A sort of save actually that Gordon Banks himself would have approved of, funnily enough, as Pep Guardiola comes out for the second half. So it has been a great first half down here, and as things stand, if it was to be level after 90 minutes, just to remind everybody of the rules from now on in, no replays from this fifth round onwards. We have to get it decided on the night. If it's 0-0 or a draw after 90 minutes, whether it's a no score draw or a scoring draw, then we will have extra time, and if we're still level after that, it will be a penalty shootout to decide who goes into the quarter-finals. This is where the FA Cup really hots up here, and so far Newport now will probably want to gamble and try and win it within the 90 minutes. So we're back underway in the second half. No changes that I can see from any of the two sides. It's as you were. So Newport, just to remind you the team: Day, Poole, Demetrio, O'Brien, Wilmot, Bennett, Labradi, Bakinson, Butler, Jamal Matt and Patrick Hammond. On the bench we've got Townsend, Pipe, Franks, Dolan, Marsh Brown, Sheehan and McKirdy. Manchester City lineup, just to remind you, of Edison in goal, Danilo, Stones, Otamendi, Sinchenko, Foden, Fernandinho and Silva, Mahrez, Jesus and Sane up front. With Walker, with Muritz, Walker, Sterling, Gundogan, Laporte, De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva on the bench. And here come Manchester City now in the opening exchanges of the second half, and the ball knocked away by O'Brien. As the ball comes back to number 3, Butler, who had a bit of a torrid time against Mahrez in the first half. But so far so good at the moment. Phil Foden getting an opportunity here. He's had a few opportunities in certain games this season, Phil Foden. He's had a few run-outs as substitute in the league games as well. As the throw is taken to number 11, Jamal Matt. He tries to turn there, but Fernandinho intercept very quickly. It's still muddy and still a proper old-fashioned FA Cup style lower league pitch, if you like, and City are not having it all their own way here as this second half is now in progression. As the pitches have stopped moving, but I do apologise again for the loss of pitches here. I do apologise for this, but hopefully we haven't missed any brilliant moments in this game, because if we have, it'll be quite annoying. I don't think we did in the end, so it's still 0-0 by the way. So nothing has happened. It is a frustration when you get into a game or get into a commentary, and then for one reason or another it just stops halfway through. But we'll be back live in just a second. But it's 0-0 here in the FA Cup 5th round in association with Emirates, as we see the run by Jamal Matt that was brought to a premature end in the end. And guess who's taking the throw in again? It's a throw in on the far side. It's going to be hoisted as long as it's possibly humanly possible. Apologies for the problems we've got second half. We had sound problems, now we've got visual problems. Hopefully we'll get the pitches back moving for you and get commentary back underway in the second half. It's very rare that it's happened. It's not happened for quite some time, unfortunately, and it just had to happen tonight, didn't it? On the biggest day We've had really good commentary streams for the last 2 or 3 weeks, and then this has to go and happen. It's always typical when you get a decent cup tie, and you get a decent FA Cup tie as well. Maybe we should stick to trying to do BBC games as well, games that are being shown live on BBC. But you've not missed anything in the first 4 minutes. No goals, still is the scoreline, and hopefully after this little blonde moment from our communications, we'll be communicating properly with the second half for you live until the finish. We have the game back now, and we're back with the ball played in by Butler, and this is a test for the goalkeeper. He takes it very comfortably there, Hedison. And of course, some of the foreign keepers do tend to take the ball. Panini's having the same problem. He's had to reload the match 12 times. It is a fault, nearly. A lot of people are watching this game. There's a lot of interest in this game, and it's been heavily televised. Remember, 3 out of the 4 Newport games have been televised live on national TV. As Mahrez now has the ball for City, cuts inside, but just runs out of space. Now Danilo has it on the right hand side. Danilo with the cross into the back post, but it misses everybody in the penalty area, and I think that's going to go for a goal kick. Indeed it does. A goal kick to Newport in this 5th round FA Cup tie. Hopefully on Monday we'll have Chelsea and Manchester United, and hopefully we'll have one of the ties from tomorrow as well. But any announcements will be made on the new Facebook page that's been going now for a couple of months, on the JB Claret YouTube channel. As I just see Raheem Sterling on the far side warming up, so too is Bernardo Silva. So the JB Claret Facebook page is in operation. If you want to talk football on Facebook with me, that's the place to do it. The JB Claret YouTube channel Facebook companion page, and you'll find that at www.facebook.com/JB Claret YouTube channel. So look out for that, or look for it on Facebook and give us a like and support that page if you can. As Sonny goes in, shoots, and it's going to be tapped in. Is it by Foden? The goal is going to be given. The goal is given to Manchester City, and poor day, try to keep it out, and the ball's been chested in. I think Sane will claim it. I think Foden was trying to chest it in on the line, and well, back to the drawing board, I'm afraid, for Newport County. It looks as if it's going to be a goal credited to Leroy Sane, and it's the City fans who are cheering, and Mike Flynn saying, come on, heads up, heads up. He's still not out of this by any stretch of the imagination. This is what happened. Sane over to the far side, played the 1-2. Day got a good hand on that, and yes, it did go in, and there was no touch at all from Phil Foden. So unlucky Ryan Day. Got a good glove on it, and it came off the other glove, and it just swerved back in, and it hit him in the face as well, which didn't help his cause. Foden did try to get out of the way, because I think if he had touched it, I think he would have been in an offside position. But that's a bad moment for young Ryan Day, and it hit him in the face, and you can just see blood shooting out of his nose. Well, I can see blood shooting out of his nose there, so he might need a little bit of attention there, the goalkeeper, and indeed he is. The physios are on, but just to remind you that it's a goal for Leroy Sane. It was on target, but poor old Ryan Day, he didn't deserve that. And City, in my opinion, a little bit undeservedly are in front. I really feel that strongly, because Newport should have been in front by the half-time whistle, but it's a great finish. It's hit him in the nose, and it's just, oh, that is just such terrible luck on Newport County. It really is. They don't deserve it. They really don't deserve that. He's hit it on the left hand side, he's cutting from the left, he's hit it well, but to be fair, he's thrown everything at it, and it's just he's probably ended up looking like a boxer now. That is just, well, City are celebrating as if they've won the cup, but I don't think they've deserved it on the balance. Disappointment. There's Luke Day's wife in the executive box, looking up, seeing what's going on. It's a real unfortunate start, this, but Newport Happy Wayward all to still get back into this game. There's the wife who gave birth to the twins only a week or two ago. Poor old Mike Flynn didn't deserve that against his team. They were really in this game, so the blood has been stemmed. It's been a good 2 or 3 minutes. That little bit of a treatment. Manchester City fans won't care one iota. Their team are a goal up, but on balance, I don't think they deserve to be. Taking statistics and everything else out of the game. But they are leading 1-0, and it's tough on Newport. Really, it's tough on them. But Sané's goal does count, so it's 1-0 to Newport, 1-0 to Manchester City over Newport County. As the ball not forward now, and they need to force 1 or 2 errors now from the City players. They have to go for it now, Newport. But remember, they've conceded goals before and then come back strongly. Remember last year in the 3rd round. Anything is still possible in the FA Cup. This is Sané now, and Danilo will strike it in. He strikes it very, very well indeed, and the ball was heading into the right-hand corner from Danilo's left-footed shot. And Ryan Day made a magnificent save, diving away to his left-hand side and tipped it around for a corner. Don't think he got hold of it as much as he would have liked on a better pitch, Danilo, but even so, needed saving. And Ryan Day came up with the goods. Cut nose or non-cut nose. Corner kick to Manchester City. They've gone short here, and the ball is lifted in by Mahrez in towards the back post, and it's nodded out for another corner to Manchester City. And now Newport on the wreck a little bit here as we go towards 10 minutes gone in the second half here at Rodney Parade. It's Newport 0, Manchester City 1 in the FA Cup, sponsored by Emirates. And here's another corner then. Can Newport see this out and try and gain some territorial advantage further up the field? They need something here as that ball comes in and it's headed away. Newport must not panic at this stage. It's still a cup tie still there to be saved from them. If they can get an equaliser and force extra time, that would be a psychological boost for the Minnows, the team that are 15th in League 2. Remember, City are top of the Premier League on goal difference from Liverpool. Here's Danilo. Danilo plays the ball out towards Mahrez. Mahrez plays it back infield to Danilo, and back out to the right again. Mahrez, still Riyad Mahrez. And we really did dearly want to see Manchester City out of this FA Cup, really, for a competition point of view. Not that I dislike Pep Guardiola and his team in any way. I just think it would be good for the competition if we see most of the big guns out by the quarter-final stage. It would be a terrific fillip for the competition. It would give it would give the cup a bit more open feel. Here's Riyad Mahrez now for Manchester City, chipping the ball into the penalty area, looking towards Phil Foden, and now picked up again by Danilo. I didn't honestly think they'd try and play the ticky-tacky on this surface. It just looks nigh impossible to play on it, but give City their fair dues. At least they're attempting to play. It is Danilo going forward. He plays a 1-2. Danilo is in again, off the post, and nearly an own goal. Foden trying to keep the situation alive for City, and well, Newport now are on the rack, unfortunately. Here's Fernandinho here for City, and he finds Jesus now. Good football again from City. You've got to admire them for that. This is a bit disrespectful from Mahrez. No need for the silly little flicks and tricks, but he does get the ball in there. And I just have to say, those little flicks and tricks, Ronaldo style tricks, are not, that is doing everybody a disservice. It's not fair on Newport, and that looked offside, by the way, against Danilo, who hit the post. And that would have been another harsh moment there on Newport. They haven't deserved to be 1-0 down. It's tough on them. They've got another corner to defend in here, and they're under a lot of pressure here. 6th corner now for City as the ball is hooked in towards the penalty area. That's gone out of play for a goal kick. Or is it a corner? It's a corner. It came off Butler last, and Newport now under intense pressure as City look to drive home their advantage here in this FA Cup game. they are 1-0 up as things stand. And it is really disappointing that this game is going with the form book, I'm afraid. As we come up towards an hour gone, the corner didn't actually come to much, as it turns out. But he has been really disappointing so far for Newport. Hammond has not really had too much of an opportunity so far in the game to make an impact and keep his goal a game ratio going in every single round of this season's FA Cup competition. As Stone strides forward for Manchester City, finds Fernandinho, and again they're just having the freedom of this Newport half of the field, unfortunately for Newport, for Manchester City here, as Fernandinho keeps possession. Zinchenko now on the far side. City coming up towards an hour gone, 1-0 up, could have gone 2 up. Here's Fernandinho with a speculative 20-yard, 30-yard shot, and now a chance for Newport to break with Podrick Hammond trying to find Jamal Matt. Still at 1-0, Newport have every chance of staying in this competition, and if they can do that, then there's still a chance on offer for them. The ball pushes back to the goalkeeper. Still 1-0 to Manchester City. The goal coming from Leroy Sané, and here he is on the ball now for Manchester City. Finds Silva, and the ball comes out towards Riyad Mahrez, whose runs have been terrific, and Mahrez again chinks and turns, but he's not going to be fooled by the defenders that time. Goal kick. And now we're gone, and City still in the lead, but this was really good football again, and Butler wasn't going to be moved that easily. Came off Mahrez last, incidentally, and a goal kick it was to Newport County. And remember, as we see a substitution being made, off comes Bakinson, and Josh Shear, number 16. I think that's a decent move there. Can Newport save themselves? He's got half an hour, Mike Flynn, to try and do something. He's made a substitution now, so this is the opportunity that they've been waiting for. Can they produce heroics here? It's important that they do and stay in the tie. Andre Mariner giving a free kick against Newport that time, fouling David Silva. It has been a frustration, really. The last thing you want is the referee up against you now. The Newport County fans must stay and believe, must focus and believe that they can still do this. They can still pull off the miracle, the shock. It's still on, they still have time, a bit of time, and remember, if it stays at 1-0 and they get a chance, they must take it. Remember, we have to play to a finish tonight. If it's 90 minutes extra time or penalties, we will get a decision. At the moment, sadly for Newport, it's City are going through to the next round of the FA Cup into the 5th round draw, which I believe might take place on Sunday or Monday. Here's Danilo now forward for Foden, back to Danilo, into Mahrez. Mahrez goes inside and then goes back in outside towards the right, but then goes back in towards the middle, and now the ball is in the centre circle with Otamendi. Turn round the corner to Fernandinho. Fernandinho now to Foden. Foden still playing it towards Danilo. Still 1-0 to City. It was actually Silva who played the ball in. Foden's got those short sleeves on, and here he is now, Foden on the ball. Loses possession and it's out for a throw in off Bennett. That's been a difficult night for me commentating on this. Newport, a very unfamiliar team. Last 10 minutes, look at that, 12% Newport, 88% City. But they're just playing that silly ticky-tacky football that it's just stupid. I mean, it's entertaining to watch, but it's a downright disrespectful on Newport County, and it's an insult to them. And I just wish we'd see a proper cup tie here. It's not the way I want to see the game played. I know there's a bit of a mismatch in terms of finances and the quality of players, but I want to see a proper button from the cup tie. And at the moment, Manchester City are turning into a stupid exhibition circus. So they're going to get a little bit of criticism, although it's a nice way to play football. It just doesn't seem fits right with me. There's the ball. Good. Leroy Sané has slipped. Well, City players are human after all. Newport County must get a touch of the ball, get some possession here under their belts, and make City work for their win. At the moment, City are not working for their win, and that doesn't sit well with me. As much as I admire what Pep Guardiola has done in the game, there's a time to do ticky-tacky, and it's not at this moment in time on a bumpy cup-type pitch, trying to throw a little bit of disrespect to Newport County as the goal kick's taken there by Day. 3/4 of the way almost it reached on the field as number 16 Sheehan flicks it on, but it's back with Danilo again, and here goes the ticky-tacky again for Manchester City. And this is stupid. I think it's just stupid. It really is stupid now. But they must close them down here in Newport and really try and play City at their own game. It's a little game of cat and mouse that Mike Flynn's side have got to play now. But here's Foden on the ball for City, midway inside the Newport half, into Mahrez on the right, infield to Danilo. Danilo now turning. If only Burnley were there now, it would be them in this position and not us, not City. And this is not said out of bitterness because they're not Burnley out, but I'm afraid that they haven't been the best. They've had all the possession because they're just being allowed to. They should be closing players down. They should be closing the City players down here in Newport for me. This is why it's turned into a mockery of a cup tie. Newport have got to go there and have a chance. They've got to get on the ball and try and move it about and try and give City a few problems. They have to. They've got to go for it now. They're 1-0 down with 25 to play. And City just moving the ball around at Mill, and I'm just not... It's just not sitting kindly with me. I hope for a Blood and Thunder Cup tie. We got it in the first half, but since City gone in front, they've tried to show off and play to the gallery. And I just don't like that. That's disrespecting the opponent. And people on the comment section can say what they want. They can say I'm right, they can say I'm wrong, but I'm maintaining this is disrespectful to Newport County as a football club, and we want to see a cup tie played, not an exhibition game. And City are turning it into that. And to be quite honest, they've bought their weight into this position. They're not. I'm not saying they're a proper team, but you know, when you can buy players but billions of pounds, I think it's disgusting the way football is being run at the top level. It really is, and I find it very, very it's uncomfortable with me. Listen, when they play Premier League football, it is a very entertaining brand of football, don't get me wrong. If it's at the Etihad, then yeah, fair play. But when you're away from home in a cup tie and you want to see a Blood and Thunder Cup tie, this is not what I want to see. I want to see Blood and Thunder and both teams trying to make a game of it. And at the moment I'm seeing nothing really that shouts a proper cup tie in this second half. It's been a really disappointment for me as a neutral to watch, because I really want to see both teams really at it in Newport, for them to really give a good account of themselves. And at the moment we're just watching an exhibition show from Manchester City. Not their fault, I understand that, but it's just a little bit frustrating when there are two teams out on the pitch and Newport really need to get the ball, and it's just stupid. They're just playing it from side to side and not really going for it. City, they're turning this cup tie into an absolute bore fest right now. 95% possession tells you everything I need to know, and my grievance is entirely that. Listen, I understand that they have to keep possession. It is a difficult thing, but let's try and play a game here. Halfway through the second half, and I'm afraid the second half is not living up to expectations as a spectacle, and City now with their lead and that just being stupidly boring, moving the ball from side to side. They have actually made a mistake and put the ball out of play, so maybe there's a little bit of element there. It's Edison actually made a mistake a few moments ago that we didn't see, but they got away with it, and thankfully I'm thankful they did, because we'd have missed that if there had been a goal. Jamal Matt just couldn't react in time. But Newport know if they can get an opportunity and take that opportunity, we have a cup tie again, we have a proper game of football. Unfortunately it's not a proper game of football, and that's not City's fault, I understand that. Anyway, Joss Lombardi's been replaced by number 8 Matt Dolan, so can Newport with these substitutions give themselves this opportunity? They've got every chance in the world if they can just take a chance and go for the cutthroat here. Man City only winning by a goal to nil, but I think they're quite wrong to start playing the ticky-tacky party piece stuff. Doing it 2 or 3-0 up, I can accept it at that scoreline, but let's see if we can have a proper game out of this and enjoy a proper game of Blood and Thunder Cup football. Here's Butler now. Newport now in possession. They must not give it away. And we want to make sure that they have a little bit of possession and keep the interest of the cup tie. That's a poor ball, I'm afraid. And now here we go again. The tricks and flicks are back out again. Sane on the far side, but kept in by Newport. Today, internal credit now. A real opportunity now. If they can just force a set play or free kick or a throw in on the far side, they've got a chance. Oh, they've got a chance here down this near side. A ball played in. And it's hooked away by Manchester City. But Newport are coming for them again. Can't tell who it is. Number 26 is Paul. But they've lost it this time, City. And now they've got the ball back. And now they're starting their little tricks and flicks time again, but they've lost possession, thank God. And Butler gets it back to the goalkeeper now, Day. But unfortunate to be beaten. Hits it long, but the referee spotted something. A City player making the most of it. And Nicholas Otamendi is one of the more guiltier ones. Let's have a look at it again. Nothing in that. Otamendi's making a big deal of it. Did Amon touch him? Well, I'm not sure. I think Otamendi's one that does make a meal of it, I'm afraid. Amon's followed through. See, get up and get on with the game. And you can tell it's blatant time wasting by Manchester City. It doesn't cut well with me. It doesn't cut much ice with me right now. As City just are winning 1-0. They're about to make a substitution, by the way. About to make 2 substitutions. So City 1 up, and do apologise again. And it's Gabriel Jesus with the goal. Otamendi's back on his feet. And City about to make a double substitution, incidentally, whilst all that was going on. Breaking play. Going lost sound temporarily. "20 minutes left to play in the FA Cup 5th round. Newport 0, Man City 1 in the FA Cup. Flicked on is the header. Forward it goes once again. Hooked away by Mahrez, but it's a free kick to Newport in a very dangerous position. Now this is the set piece we've been crying out for as neutrals all evening long. This is a big moment in the game. It was a foul here on number 17, Bennett. And this is the opportunity that Newport will be craving here if they can get an equaliser from this situation. Wilmot is over the free kick. Number 7, it's about 35 from goal. No doubt there'll be a floater in there, and the Newport fans, if they can get behind their team now for the remainder of this, we've got 18 to play. FA Cup 5th round coming to you from Rodney Parade. Wilmot sends a free kick in there to a dangerous situation, handed half away by City. Chance inside the area, and it was number 5. I think it was it Frank? I don't think. Well, there was a chance in there. Number 28, Demetriou, heading it forward. Just trying to make out who that was in the penalty area. As the header comes in, header came in, and the ball comes back as the goalkeeper takes possession. Still 1-0 to Manchester City. Here's Foden to win the ball. here's Fernandinho hitting it forward, and again good football again, and out of play for a throw-in. With about quarter of an hour left of this FA Cup game. Here's Foden now for Manchester City. Ball play forward. A chance here for Leroy Sané, but it was always taken by goalkeeper Day, and it comes away once again. Still 1-0 to Manchester City. Day kicks out of his hands 3/4 of the way up the field, trying to look for a flick on by a Newport player, an amber shirt. Referee plays advantage, and here's Foden down the near side for Manchester City. Runs towards the penalty area, the right hand side, and the shot comes in. And we've lost footage again, I'm afraid. Once again, it's a frustration for us. This is the way the tie's gone there. I think it's gone in, and I think Phil Foden has scored. Foden has made it 2-0 to Manchester City. The shot coming in, and it went into the back of the net, and that could kill the tie off. Phil Foden shot into the far left hand corner. City go 2 up in the FA Cup, and annoyingly will now go into the 5th round. In fact, it went through the goalkeeper and in. And well, there's the smug look on Pep Guardiola's face. So such an annoying aspect to see. So I'm afraid that there's not going to be the greatest cup shock of all time. Manchester City will be going through, I'm afraid, to the next round, and that is a frustration for all the neutrals that wanted to see a much open FA Cup and see at least 2 of the big guns go. Well, unfortunately, we're not going to see that now. It's all gone. Well, any chance we had of a cup upset tonight has fallen by the wayside. 2-0 now to Manchester City. Foden with the 2nd goal. And well, I'm afraid the cream has risen to the surface as much as we'd love to sugarcoat a cup shock. It is very, very disappointing as Phil Foden celebrates the 2nd goal for Manchester City. Disappointment really for Newport, because they really played the part, and if they had only scored that opening goal, it might have been a much different ball game. Well, City look like going through yet again to a quarter final. I don't think they've deserved it on balance. City, their money and their world class dominance has shown through, as we have a quarter of an hour left to play. Can Newport make a fight a bit as the ball comes in from the right hand side? Edison takes possession and takes the ball no problem. So 2-0 it is against Newport, and it's very undeserved really on the balance of play, but Phil Foden cut inside, hit the shot, went through Day unfortunately for him, and into the back of the net. So 2-0 it is, as we now go into the closing stages. The last quarter of an hour, Day kicks long. Newport need 2 goals to force extra time, and here's Sané now. City doing all their silly little stuff now, and trying to ruin what's been an enthralling cup tie by just playing the ticky-tacky. It's great to watch, but sometimes you've got to pay a little bit. It really is. It does take away the enjoyment of a proper cup tie, and it is very, very disappointing to see that sort of play. Here's Otamendi, who in my opinion wasted a bit of time by conning the ref and play acting a little bit. And here's Danilo, left hand side, right hand side rather, backing field to Mahrez. Mahrez turns, and Zinchenko turns round the corner, and there was hands there, was there? No, handball given, and a chance now for Wilmot to lead in attack here for Newport County. Well, I have to say they've done well to get this far, in all due respect to them. Maybe it was going to be one step too far, but Pep's team, as professional as they've been, they have been a little bit disrespectful in the way that they played the ticky-tacky. They don't need to do that on a night like this. Just the quality should get them through on its own. Anyway, final change. I think it's another change. I don't know. I've lost count of the substitutions. We've had breakdowns in the match stream, so it's been very hard to tell. But it's Laporte now coming on for Fernandinho as City make their final change. I think it might be their final change. But well, it's been a difficult commentary for me. It's been difficult for you guys at home. It's been difficult for any Newport fan watching. They should have been in front at half time, arguably, but unfortunately Manchester City have had the luck on their side, scored a couple of fortunate goals, and it looks as if they're going to go through to the next round. 2-0 they lead at Newport, and I have to say Edison's got away scot-free as well today. Edison's kick over the way over to the far side. One thing you've got to say about Newport, at least they've been committed and tried to stay in the game. City are about to make their final change. That last substitution was their second, and now they are about to make their final change. At least the Newport fans are still sticking with their team as we come up towards the last 11.5 minutes of the game. Here's Otamendi now for Manchester City. Go 2-0 up, and on course now, sadly, for Newport's point of view, to the quarterfinals. Well cut out there by Butler, did really well there for Newport County. Now can they have a real go now as Dolan tries to hit the ball long, and it's looking towards Wilmot. Wilmot will chase for all he's worth, and the ball is knocked back towards Edison. 10 to play. It's Newport 0, Manchester City 2 in the FA Cup. And well, it would have been lovely for Newport for the first time since the post-war days, first time since post-war, for them to be in the quarter-finals. They would have been the first fourth-tier side since Cambridge United way back in 1990 to have reached that stage if they had got through today. But they are looking at needing 2 goals and several snookers if they're going to force the extra half an hour. It doesn't look as if we're going to have an extension to our programme tonight. It's just going to be, well, there's the passes, 612 to 153, 77 to 153 Manchester City's favour. Now Otamendi gets the captain's armband of David Silva. I'm not sure Otamendi's good enough to be a captain, to be quite honest with you. But there we go, 10 minutes to play, City 2 up, and are now wasting more time. The Silva just walking off the pitch, and the referees ought to be adding time on for this. Look like Gundogan, the former Borussia Dortmund man, will come on as for the final stages of the game. David Silva getting the congratulations from all of sundry on that Manchester City bench. But one consolation everyone will take, that City have been involved in a difficult tie here tonight. No mod cons, no luxuries. It's been, they've been lucky to get an orange and a towel, and that's about their lot. Anyway, here's Gundogan on the ball now for City. Finds Gabriel Jesus. Jesus runs in and takes on his man. Still Jesus, back to Mahrez, who's probably been City's best player by none and probably get the JB award as oh, Sane trying to knock the ball back and almost making it 3 there. And here's Hammond, up until tonight had scored in every round of the FA Cup. Now they could call on his needs now. Remember, 8 to play, just under 8 minutes to play here at Rodney Parade, or Dave Parade as the locals call it, because Rodney used to be called Dave by Trigger, played by the late great Roger Lloyd Pack. Here's Riyad Mahrez now for Manchester City, looking to wind up a 25-yard spectacular perhaps, but decides to pull away from it. Still 2-0 to Manchester City in the FA Cup 5th round. Tomorrow, Bristol City in action, also against Wolverhampton Wanderers. What a game that promises to be. Wolves beating Liverpool and then beating Shrewsbury at Molyneux after a replay. Now they've got to go down to Ashton Gate and a very informed Bristol City side tomorrow. Then it's Crystal Palace up against Doncaster Rovers. And what a tie that promises to be at the Keepmoat Stadium. Swansea City are at home as well. Then on Monday the real big one, the big clash between Chelsea and Manchester United. And Manchester United have lost Martial and Jesse Lingard. I say that through gritted teeth because he was the man who conned the referee when Burnley came a few weeks ago. Here's a chance now for number 16 Sheehan to come forward now. Can Newport rally and make it a little bit more of a grandstand finish and put City in a little bit of trouble towards the end? But City win possession, and here's Jesus. Looked like he handled that, but the referee has allowed it to go on. It's Gabriel Jesus running at his defenders, but oh, good play. They certainly not let anyone down from all of a man tonight. All the squad from Newport. They've worked tirelessly hard and deserve a lot more than what they've had. It still remains 2-0. Gundogan wins the ball for City, chips the ball in there towards Sané. Sané inside the penalty area, good save from Day from point blank range, keeping the scoreline at 2-0 to City. And a ball hoisted away up towards the halfway line as Hammond tries to get on the flick on, or Hammond I should say. Here's Gundogan, and a chance now for Jesus to get his shot off, and well plucked out of the air by Ryan Day. I think Jesus was hoping for a free kick or a penalty. Well, Sané did really well, got away from the defender O'Brien, stabbed it with his left foot, but that phase, well, you've got to say what a brave save this was by Day. Unlucky on both the goals that have gone past him and into the back of the net. 5 minutes to play. Let's take a look at some of your comments. Let's see what you've all been saying during the second half, incidentally, of this intriguing match. It was intriguing up until that second City goal. Well, JB man of the match, Newport County. Trust Panini to go for the whole team. It's not often we give man of the match to a whole team, but I think Panini's probably right. I think for once, and I hope Manchester City fans don't mind us doing this, because I think it's important to highlight that Newport are putting a real effort tonight, a real shift. We're going to give the man of the match award, a shared award tonight for all the Newport County players. They really give it their best shot, and I've got nothing to be ashamed about. And if they're going to take a little consolation prize from this tonight, they can have our JB man of the match award. So Mike Flynn and your boys and his boys will be the JB. We say man of the match, it's men of the match, as Rose Wickard said. So a little bit of a difference there on the man of the match award with 4 minutes of the 90 to go. It has been a great effort from Michael Flynn's side, and they can go back with some real pride at the end of it. But they've got a corner now. Then they've got an opportunity in Mike Flynn's side. If they can just get an opportunity and take their chance and force a grandstand finish. It's only their second corner, but if they can just get one here, nick one, and make a grandstand finish of it, who knows what might come of this. The ball, everyone's in there as that corner comes in towards the penalty area, but it's going to fall for a dark shirted City player. But then Newport win the possession, but then lose it again. And now here comes City now with Jesus now. They haven't deserved this as the ball comes forward. Jesus trying to keep it in play, and it's gone out. Lines the official on the near side, that's Sean Massey, making it out. My man's coming on, so it looks as if the chance, a goal! Yes, a goal! I think Newport have scored. No, yes they have. It's been given, and with 3 minutes to go, we have a goal. Newport have scored at least. And there was a mistake in the City defence, and all of a sudden Rodney Parade is jumping, and it's Patrick Hammond who's got it. Little chip forward. I was looking away in the comment section, and it was chip forward. Mistake by the City defence, and Hammond forced a mistake. Did he get the last touch here? Yes, he might have done. Otamendi there was stupid. You don't give Amand a chance like that. Laporte made a mistake and did it. Well, it might have been an Otamendi own goal as he flipped it over Edison. It was a stupid goal for Manchester City to concede, and well, we might still have a late drama yet. Mike Flynn with a great beaming smile on his face, and all of a sudden the game is back on here in South Wales. Wow, Pep's not too pleased. It's 2-1 now. Who are they going to give that goal to? Hamon has been credited with the goal, so not. I don't think Otamendi will want it. Foden goes for goal and he scores another. Well, that just finishes it off now, I'm afraid. There'll be any hope of extra time has now been diminished. But Phil Foden went racing towards the edge of the area, struck a left foot shot that went in at the near post. Past the goalkeeper, had no chance, and that's it, I'm afraid, for Newport County. City have finally, I'm afraid, sunk the League Two battlers. And just when we thought that we could have extra time and half an hour's more, and I wouldn't have been too unhappy to have had that, to be quite honest, City go and make it 3-1. It's come to Foden, gets a little bit of luck there, but well, sometimes you make your own luck. City are through now, sadly, and it's a real sad moment for as a neutral watching, but you can't deny City's obvious class, although they have been a little bit disrespectful at times to Newport, and it would have been justified if Newport had got an equaliser. But I'm glad they've scored at least, Newport. At least now, despite it being 3-1, it's a little bit more respectful to them because of their efforts tonight. And at least Amond has scored in every round up until the 5th now, so that's still a very good ratio. And he's still got a great Midas touch in the FA Cup. Unfortunately, it's going to be all in vain as we're going to 4 minutes at the end of this 5th round game. A game that's been blighted by sound and vision problems in my stream, which has affected the commentary somewhat. But we've managed to bring you 4 goals anyway. But it's been disappointing, really, that it's not been the shot that we all wanted. City player went down. It was Danilo. I think he's making a little bit of a meal, and it needs to be. So let's just confirm all the 11 players for Newport. They all get the Men of the Match award. They've all done their league proud. League Two, the last remaining League Two side left in the competition. And at the moment, as things stand, it's going to be already assured of a place now. Watford, who beat QPR last night. Manchester City at this moment in time. Millwall are through as well. 1-0 winners over a plucky Wimbledon side today, thanks to a Murray Wallace goal after 5 minutes. And also today, Brighton and Hove Albion, whose first half performance was just about enough to see off a spirited second half comeback from Frank Lampard's Derby County, who now can concentrate on the real aim for them, promotion. As City win a 3 kick about 25 yards out from goal. O'Brien is furious, the Newport County captain. We played almost 2 minutes to 5. It's Mahrez, where he makes a little bit of a meal, and it needs to be there, Riyad Mahrez, but it is a 3 kick. And it would be totally unjust on Newport if City were to score again. But you've got to say though, despite everything, City have shown their class this evening. I don't think there's much doubt about that in a lot of respects. So we're right at the end of the game. Mike's Swing side have really performed out of their skins, but here's a free kick now. It's going to be Sané to blast it goals, and it comes off the Newport wall and behind for a corner. And we've played over 2 minutes and a half of the 4 at the end of the game. So Sané went to strike it with his left foot off the defender. It went and behind, and a corner has been given. As Sané has the ball, Patrick Hammond is sticking close to him like super glue. It is a throw to Manchester City, but I think Newport should be proud of how they play tonight. They've not let anybody down in any way, shape or form. They've had a fantastic run to get to this stage and to get a big tie. I mean, at least getting them, I mean, being on television 3 times now out of 4 has been a real godsend to them. The prize money is always come in handy whenever they've got through to the next round. We're now into the final minute of the stoppage time, and it's now just a question and now of just City seeing it out now, blowing that, having that final whistle blown, and then they can just enjoy their victory and just get out with their dignity just about intact, because Newport, if things had gone their way in the first half, it could have been a completely different story. But such is life, such is the look of the draw. Sometimes football has that strange way of knocking you as well when you're even on a quest of a way like Newport are. It's only their 50 feet, and another goal has gone in as well. City have gone to fall now. The ball played in and then smashed into the back of the net by I'm trying to think, it's Riyad Mahrez. He's worked hard for a goal, but it's a tough scoreline, and Mahrez just smashes it in at the near post. No way do Newport deserve to be 4-1 down in this match. As the whistle goes, it was the last kick of the game, but let's give credit to Mike Flynn's side right at the end, as we just about caught that final goal. But City do not deserve. The City just, maybe it was a very harsh scoreline in the end on Newport County, who really gave it their best shot over 90 minutes. But I suppose when you've got hundreds of millions of pounds worth of talent, it means absolutely nothing, and it takes away really the gloss of an FA Cup tie, which for 45 minutes this afternoon or this evening was a real proper cup tie. And then City turned the screw in the second half and saw off the side 15th in League 2, but they've got nothing to be ashamed about. Hammond scored, so he kept his goal again ratio going in all cup ties this season, and credit to him. But there's no way that it was a 4-1 scoreline how the game shaped off. City will say that they had more possession and more chances. That's fair to say, but in terms of effort, I thought Newport were well on a par with Manchester City today, and probably on balance of play didn't deserve a 4-1 defeat like that. But they're taking the applause from their fans, their adoring fans. It was always going to be a tough test for City. They've passed it and now take their place along with Millwall, Watford, Brighton into the quarter-finals. 3 more ties tomorrow, and another one on Monday will decide the final lineup for the draw. But they can be proud of themselves, but no way in the world did they deserve to lose by 4-1. They are getting good applause there. City applaud their team off the field. They'll say it was a professional job. I think the ticky-tacky didn't need to be employed tonight. I think that was just showing too much disrespect. Anyway, we're going to leave you tonight. I am sorry that we've had a little bit of communications problems here. We might have missed a couple of goals, but at least we've brought them all to you in the end by 4 goals, all 5 goals tonight. But Newport can be pleased with the way that they played. It's just a shame that City have just had that little bit of quality, but they can all be pleased with their efforts and the money that they've made from this cup run. Anyway, any other cup ties, hopefully we'll have some more cup ties for you when we'll announce it live on the Facebook page as soon as we get confirmation of what's happening, and you'll be able to find out on our Facebook page, which is www.facebook.com/the JB Claret YouTube channel. Anyway, thank you very much for listening. Not the dream ending that we all hoped it would be for Newport County tonight, but they bow out with pride, with dignity, and with spirit, and they went down fighting. 4-1 to Manchester City it finished, and it was very, very hard lines and very, very tough, and a spirited Newport County who can now concentrate on matters of League 2 and have money to keep the club flowing now for the next few years. For me, JB from Rodney Parade, hope you very much enjoyed the commentary, and we'll hopefully hear from you again over the weekend. Till then, take care. Good night now.